Hmm. Oh, the water, yeah, I take a lot of. All right, so when we are doing this, the idea is we want to take this tree image and we want it to make it look like this coloring, right? Because if you just bring these in, they don't work, right? But here's a really kind of cool way to do it. Now it's destructive, so we're going to look at how to make it non-destructive. So I'm going to take this image and I'm going to duplicate it and just turn one of them off, right? Just in case I want to ever go back to the original, I have it. And it can't be a smart object because whatever reason Photoshop says that you can't do this with a smart object. So we're going to go into a new dialog box. We're going to go into image adjustments, match color. It brings up this dialog box that's here. And so what we want to do is we want to say the source is the image that you're working on. So in this case, it's new sunset. And what we want to do is we want to apply it. We want to use layer 2 as its application. You see what happens? What happened to now the visual? Right, started to match the visual of the sunset. Now you can change some of these, right? So you can say, all right, well, it should fade not as much. The color intensity, I can make it more. I can make it less, right? So you can kind of decide where that is going to go. And let's kind of work here. Okay, so you can decide, and then I'm going to do OK. So already now we have some of these color already starting to matching in a few couple clicks, which is really interesting. But let's say we want to now take out the sky and we want to put the actual sunset that's in there. So this is why I saved this original image. Let's bring this original image back up. Here's what's kind of cool. And I think we looked at this in class. I showed you the technique in class. We're going to go to channels. And you can see I already have the blue copy kind of copied out, but I'll show you the steps again. I'm going to select the blue channel, and I'm going to duplicate it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use layers. And watch what happens when I select out, when I up the white. What's happening? You see, so the main thing is I want to get rid of the clouds. And so I'm going to bring this kind of up here. I'm going to intensify the dark that's here. And I could really go all the way here because it doesn't matter because I just want the sky. I'm now going to do OK. I'm going to use Command, and I'm going to click this. And what it does is it loads this as a selection. Let's go back to our layers, turn this off, and we're going to do an inverse mask. What just happened? It's a pretty good selection, right? So all of a sudden now we have these two images and they look pretty locked up as far as the visual, right? And I did a handful of things, right? But just knowing where they are allows you to do this. So now we have this coloring and this coloring really starting to match, which is super cool, right? If I wanted to advance this maybe a little bit further, if I wanted to say, oh, maybe this should be a little bit darker, maybe if it was really sunsetting, right, we'd have a shadow a little bit more, or this would be a little bit darker. I'm just going to go ahead and do levels, invert levels, and I'm going to clip it right to this, and then I'm going to up the darkness of this. Right? And then you could decide, I like that, but I don't want it as intense. So we just take back the opacity. And you can see we're starting to see some of that, but it still matches the visual that's there. Right? A way to take something that is really easy using already the context that's inside of Photoshop, and you're matching its color, and then you're using that masking technique to get rid of the sky to make this just look really seamless. Right? So when you guys are doing your your transformations, like this is a really key, right? Anytime that I said, oh, your color doesn't match, this is definitely a way to match the color. And it's a real easy way to kind of do that. Right? Yes? Wow. Woo. Okay. So another way that if you didn't want to use that channel technique, and again, this is a little bit hit or miss, but I'm going to show you it anyway. I'm going to double click inside of here. Right, and we're going to bring up the layer styles. And we've done this with the blend if, but we've only done it with gray. What else is here? You see I have my channels. And what's the sky color? Right, the sky is blue in general. So I'm going to take blue. Oop, the other way. What happens is I drag the blue slider. Right, what happened? The blue sky went away, right? Yeah, right? Now, I don't know if that's mock enthusiasm or real enthusiasm. Did you know that?
That's actually cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now you can take out the majority of the blue. As I bring this, you can see it gets, right? You can see as I drag that one, right, I can make all of it go away, right? But we don't. We just want the sky to go away, right? So taking that and kind of doing that is a really nice way of being able to do that. And I didn't even have to mask it, right? So those are two techniques to remove the sky in really simple ways without ever having to do something like super complex, right? Photoshop is all about being able to take something that seems complex and make it easy as long as you know where to go.
I wish I knew that when people ask me to change the sky.
Right? So these two techniques you can use, and it's real easy to change the sky. Right? Okay. Yeah, this part of the video. It's captured in the video. Yeah. So is anything that I'm saying at the moment, right? So all this is in the video. So if you want to get on the video, now's your chance to shout out in the video, and you can be, no one cares. Okay, that's fine. But so like that's like pretty amazing that you can kind of do that, and I didn't mask really anything. I just used kind of the tools that are at the disposal. So taking out skies, definitely channels, and the going in here and changing the blue channel or anything like that, and you can kind of manipulate, right?